Hello, my name is Charles. A man's semen is his life force. You get to a point in your life where, when you understand this, you recognize that with every ejaculation, you are using up your life force energy. The purpose of semen is to procreate. Why do men normally feel tired after an ejaculation? Because all vital nutrients are taken from the organs of the body to provide the best possible fertilization in each ejaculation. When you've developed a level of consciousness, you become more respectful of your life force energy and are unwilling to deplete it in animalistic actions. Did it ever occur to you that every time you spill your seed, a living life force inside of you struggles for life and dies? If there's truth about the morphogenic field, that if you could take a sample of your blood, take it to a far place and cause exaltation in the original body that will cause the cells to react measurably, your blood, no matter how far away, will react the same moment. You see, there's a binding force to your life. If that's true, the spilling of your seed has the same effect. Your seed is alive and is a part of you. And as your seed withers and dies, it can also be fair to say that there's a part of you that withers and dies. Wouldn't it be better, rather than spilling it outside of you, to take it and move the energy to your crown energy center and use it for your healing and as a source of creation? It can take a while to understand that and be at peace with it. It did me. It requires a willful man to master himself for periods of time and to experience that and call upon that energy in a creative manner. The same life force that is being spilled away is the same life force that can be transformed into the miraculous through the mind. At the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I came across the symbol of Shiva Destroyer. It's packed with symbolism, but what stood out to me was that this entity was sitting on a tiger, which represented mastery over one's sexuality or sexual urges. As a younger man, I was intrigued by this, but I was also frustrated because I couldn't understand how you could do such a thing. I had no one to ask. 20 odd years later, I came to learn it's a process. You may have heard of the no-fab movement, where one abstains from any form of ejaculation, whether through masturbation or sex. Eventually, the body will produce a discharge via wet dreams, nocturnal dreams. It's got its own unique intelligence, which will do so when it needs to. That way, it also protects your prostrate. When I embarked upon my no-fab journey, I retained for 2 years straight my body producing discharges once every 4 months, almost to the day. I got to know my body really well. You get to a point where your life force energy becomes sacred to you, and only wish to share it with someone with whom you have a soul connection. Even so, it's not necessary to ejaculate when reaching orgasm. Men can have multiple orgasms, and orgasms that are not local but full body or even higher cosmic orgasms when having learned to retain their semen and using a specific breathing technique during the act of sex with another. This technique you can learn in my program. Okay, this isn't to say that you never have to ejaculate again, but now you know better and you have choices with how you use your life force energy. In order to move from genital sex to full body and then cosmic sex, it's vital to learn to honor your body by holding the life force and then between yourself and your partner and how that energy will transport you somewhere. They say that attraction isn't a choice. Well, hormones of attraction move. You experience exchanges of energy between all your energy centers and those of your partner. Your energies become fused. If you raise energy upward rather than keeping it in your genitals, you can increase the flow of energy and operate with a new consciousness. You can learn to lift the energy up each other's spines and move it through your bodies, holding off orgasm. Emotional intelligence is learned and developed through responsibility and accountability. The chief challenge to emotional balance is to understand sexual energy. Sex is about attracting partnerships. Relationships enrich personal growth and development. Therefore, you will attract a partner who is willing on some level to work with you on specific issues that are pivotal for your personal growth and transformation. Even though relationships can be full of challenges, you must value yourself enough to draw someone who values you and what you have to offer in return. The quality of love you receive mirrors the value you place on yourself. I can't stress that enough. Of course, being in a relationship is a choice. There's nothing wrong with going your own way, as many men are now. But our greatest advancement is when you have another to act as a mirror for us. The risk involved with partnership is allowing yourself to be vulnerable and less focused on performing, more receiving rather than controlling. By doing so, you will find a greater spiritual connection through sexual surrender. While sex can be an invigorating, stimulating activity that offers mental, physical, and emotional pleasure, as well as spiritual connection to the cosmic mind, it can also be a double-edged sword. You're probably aware of the term chakras, which was popularized by the New Age community. I prefer to use the words seal or energy centers because chakras really are where 2 points of energy cross. The point of where they cross is a chakra, and there are many of those in our body. Why is this important? Well, sex can bring up many of your fears. Emotional issues can naturally surface before, during, and after sex. There may have been times when you were enjoying yourself on the physical level, and then suddenly a tidal wave of emotion appeared, which may have made you pull back from your partner or project your issues outward and blame them for your feelings, creating an endless cycle of entrapment of the disempowering victim-victimizer dance. Sexual energy will always bring up suppressed emotions because activating the first energy center, sexuality, will create activity in the second, victimization, and then the third, power, tyranny, control. Remember, you attract someone for good reason, and if you can work through your difficulties with the intention of becoming evolved, and if you have enough common ground to build upon, sex will create a far-reaching bond with your partner that can restore and revitalize your whole identity, healing your mind, body, and spirit. In healthy, long-term relationships, the energy will move beyond the third energy center into the fourth, the heart, where there will be love, trust, mutual admiration. Even so, they may never speak their deepest truths or hear in others if the energy doesn't reach the fifth, the third energy center. And where the sexual energy has risen this far, two people will really communicate what's on their minds, safely expressing their fears, joys, memories, and opinions. Sexual energy can then rise even higher to the sixth, the psychic, and then the seventh energy centers of the higher mind, where full body and cosmic orgasms are experienced. You may or may not be aware of the Star of Solomon. The red inverted triangle represents the carnal man, the carnal body, the first three energy centers: sexuality, victimization, power, tyranny, control. This is where the majority of humanity exists and where we play out our 3D experience. Our journey is to move to the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, which is represented by the blue triangle, back to source. God, Creator, Allah, whatever your name for it. This is evolution. We are a product of our genetic propensities, and part of humanity's healing involves recognizing and releasing dysfunctional patterns of behavior passed on from generation to generation that keep us in that red triangle. We must use our awareness to understand the meaning of these patterns and then to override them with new beliefs that serve your positive intentions. We aren't stuck with our genes and their propensities. They can all be changed. Even your DNA can be changed. And my program, Unplugged Masculinity, has been created to help you create a new life for you by changing those programs. What do you say? Can you recognize how in your past or current relationships through which steels you are acting from? Comment below, like, subscribe, and share with someone who you think might benefit. See you on the next one.